Hello there everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Aceikith Gaming and welcome to another placement game within the ranked series of League of Legends. If you may remember, we are currently 3-3 as we are going into this game after our last recorded video. This is actually the very next recorded video, but recorded around about a month later than the one that you've seen previously. This is actually placement game number 7 and my first placement game inside of the support role. I've decided, as you may recall from my previous video, that the rest of my placement games, so placement games 7 through to 10, which would then decide my overall rank for that point moving forward, will be all in the support role. So this game I decided to play Morgana, and we're playing with a Twitch. Excuse me. Now Twitch is an unusual AD carry where he does require some snowballing in a way, but he can be very, very annoying to play against. I've never personally, up until this very game, ever played with a Twitch, so I did not know what to expect. I didn't know what kind of playing style I needed to play with and to go play with a Twitch, but I figured, so we'll see how this goes. It's going to be a very steep learning curve because Twitch is an unusual AD carry, but we'll learn to play the best we can. Morgana is probably one of the best supports, especially in low elo, which is where I am at the moment as well. That was another part of the reason why I chose to play Morgana. So the opposing bot lane, we've got a Vayne AD carry, so ideally we should be winning against it in lane phase. Most Vaynes do not win lane phase. If they're winning lane phase, you pretty much already lost the game. And with our opposing support is an Alistar, which can have very strong engage. I personally never played Alistar. I'm yet to learn how to play it. I am learning more supports as I go along as well. Morgana tends to be one that I tend to play most of the time reasonably good with, as well as an army as well. So expect to see some more different types of supports in the future. Mid lane. Our mid laner is an Ahri, which is extremely good, has strong engage, a very good all-rounder for an assassin mage type of mid laner. The opposing mid laner is a Kassadin. So Kassadin, otherwise known as Kassawin in the League of Legends community, which you'll probably find, like if you do play League of Legends, is pretty much a ticking time bomb. You've got to win the early game, so the longer this game goes, the more of a threat that the Kassadin is going to be. The junglers, we've got an Echo, which is probably one of the best junglers around at the moment. I personally don't play it. I have tried him. I don't really get on with him particularly well. The opposing jungler is a Master Yi, which I have played before on a few occasions. Of course, Master Yi is another one of them type of junglers that, you know, he scales extremely well, but he is running Howler Blade, so we have a slightly better early game. The top laners, we've got a Gangplank on our team, which is does a high amount of damage for a top laner, but it's starting to favour a little bit more towards the mid lane. And the opposing top laner is a Garen, which is probably a very good starting top laner to start off with. Not particularly strong at the moment this season. As you can see, the Alistar goes in for a strong engage. I missed my Q bind by just a smidge, trying to re-engage to try and stop him from getting away, because the Alistar has very good engage, but if you can hold him, it regresses the length of time for him to get away. So basically, him being able to get away takes longer, so therefore he takes more damage. And if he wants to keep on engaging, he needs his health to be high. So my objective is basically when he engages, stop him from being able to get away too quickly. That way Twitch can do a good amount of damage, because Twitch is able to do that. He's kind of like an harassing AD carry, you could possibly say. So the laning phase is fairly equal. I've only got one farm. I guess it's probably from one of my W's, possibly, which can tend to happen from time to time. Like obviously, ideally, you want all of the creep score to go towards the AD carry, unless you're playing a laner. So there you go. So you see Alistar goes in for another engage, but then I end up going in and getting a Q, and that way he's not able to get away so easily. I've not noticed this live, but the Twitch has noticed this very quickly, and this shows great map awareness. The Master Yi is already starting to get some kind of like counter jungling already, and he's straight away paid for that because the opposing bot lane has not woken up to see what is going on. So because the Master Yi is stuck in a 2v1 situation, we've managed to get the Twitch a first blood, which is obviously increased gold. It's also increased gold for me because I've also got an assist on that. So both myself and the Twitch seem to have a good communication, which you'll see through this game that although we're not on comms, Twitch is using different ways to communicate with me, which kind of does say that he's used to solo queuing as a bot laner, so he knows kind of what he needs to do. The Echo now is about to start coming down into bot lane, so I get a Q onto the Vayne, which is ideally the one that we want to be have killed. The Alistar engages onto the Echo to allow the Vayne to get away. I end up using my black shield onto the Echo just in case they want to use anything. Just in that way I am further protecting the Echo. But yeah, like we all managed to survive through that. We've managed to force them to use a couple of summoner spells as well, which I have noticed. So that will obviously, I'll just flag them up, and that way everybody is aware, just in case we may want to try and do another gank very soon after. The Alistar goes in for another engage onto me. He seems to try to engage on me quite a lot, but the good thing for me is that I am automatically reacting to it by getting stuns of my own. Of course, I can't do that forever because we're only, you know, equally trading. Supports will only do so much damage, so it is kind of up to whoever can actually get the stun first, and then the AD carry can follow up with damage. You know, it is something that, you know, it's kind of one of them type of things that somebody can, if an AD carry can do a lot more damage than the other, that helps a lot. So you can see the Twitch just pings up that I've got my stealth ward, just to say to me, this is where he wants his extra stealth ward. It's a good idea for the support to try and obviously stay with the AD carry quite a lot, for those of you that do play supports but are struggling with it. But it's all about communication. It is, and myself and the Twitch, like it is mostly from the Twitch that is showing very strong reasons, you know, so in that way we're able to do better in the later game, because obviously so far through the game there will be a certain point where we'll all be together, and you know, we're all going to have to help each other out. So like obviously overall at the moment, our team has got 2 kills. I believe the Ari may have got a kill earlier on. I'm not entirely 100% sure because I didn't really pay attention. But yeah, so the Twitch has already got a kill on the Master Yi because he was counter jungling and didn't have any vision. And also the bot lane on the enemy team was a little bit asleep. Which obviously that could have very easily have turned in suddenly from a 2v1 to a 2v3 situation, which obviously if that was the case, we would have then needed to have pulled back, because I don't believe the Echo was really anywhere to be able to capitalise on it and turn it from a 2v3 to a 3v3. So it's a good thing that myself and the Twitch are awake. Kind of another thing that our objective needs to be really is the fact that we both need to be able to help out other people, because Twitch can be very annoying and can tilt enemy players, especially the casting, say for example, who want to get to that late game. So obviously that will be very interesting. Of course, another thing is to try and keep that creep score high. Of course, I don't want to be taking too many. I suddenly see, and so does my Twitch, see that the Master Yi is just taking away my my control ward that is at the Drake. So I'm starting to, like obviously I haven't got any wards sadly at the moment to be able to do anything. I did do an early switch to an Oracle lens, so which is obviously something that you do with jungling as well. Maybe I shouldn't have switched to the Oracle lens right at that moment. Maybe that was the wrong choice. As the Twitch puts down a stealth ward, however, we then suddenly start to see that the Master Yi is starting to do Drake, which is very interesting. The Ari sees that as well. The Master Yi tries to ult away, but because the Ahri has charmed the Master Yi, it ends up coming into the Ahri very, very quickly, which is ideally you don't want to be doing, really, to be honest, as such. But the Ahri's just done so much damage to the Yi. Obviously, the Yi's not going to do that much during the early game, or at least shouldn't. But that's a very good 2 kills for altogether. So we managed to end up getting another assist from that. We sadly didn't get the other assist on the Kassadin. But obviously, it's very good that we're forcing the Kassadin to start falling behind. Myself and the Twitch now will come back to down to bot lane again. I do miss my Q, which is a very annoying thing, because I'm just about to get myself killed for that, and so is the Twitch. So he's going to go down as well, which you did have a bounty on him. But the Echo is in around the area, and Vayne has literally no health left. So because of the poison damage, if you didn't notice, the Twitch still gets the kill on the Vayne because of the poison damage. That's why her health was so low. But then the Echo does also get a kill on the Alistar. So any momentum that they had for a moment is now gone, just like that. So I'd say altogether, we've had a very good start, us in particular. Like myself and the Twitch, unfortunately both myself and the Twitch did die just now, but we've got good communication together, which doesn't come around very often on a when the bot lane and the support are both in solo queue. So that's a very good thing to see. I don't believe there are any duos in this match, if I recall. But obviously, you know, like we seem to be communicating better than what the Alistar and the Vayne is. But of course, at the same time, we got to bear in mind that we can't expect a Vayne to really do much in the early game. Really, it's going to be more so during the late game that the Vayne will start doing more stuff. The Ahri just managed to get a kill on the Kassadin, but then ultimately does get killed very quickly after by the Master Yi, which is unfortunate. But she does win a 2v1 effect. Well, she draws a 2v1, I should say, because obviously she's still gotten killed during that. But at least she managed to get a kill from that as well. But she has lost her bounty from that as well. By the looks of it, the Garen's also ulted on the Gangplank, which is interesting to see. The Garen's ultimate is an execution, and not actually getting the kill straight off of the ult would be a little bit concerning for the Garen. Maybe he needed to wait a little bit more, or maybe he was thinking that, oh, I'll do enough damage. But inside of all of that happening all together, we've also managed to get the first Drake of the game, which is another very good thing. So all we need to start doing now is, from this point, just try and keep this momentum going. We've got good momentum. The Master Yi is kind of putting himself into places he doesn't need to be. And if you've noticed, he's got a kind of name that says that he's inside of the market, where he actually boosts other players' accounts, which is obviously against the rules in League of Legends. A lot of pro players do it, unfortunately, but they do this in a way to get money. It's not actually, you know, to help out other players necessarily, but it is still against the rules of League of Legends, and, you know, in that perspective. And if you do, of course, get found out that you are doing it, then your account will obviously get banned. But you can see that even though he's doing that sort of type of thing, he doesn't seem like he's actually doing very well. So I'm not sure maybe if he is actually a bronze player, but he helps out iron players, or if he is kind of like trolling a little bit, or if he's trying too hard. Because it could be a matter of that he is trolling, or it could be a matter of that he is trying too hard, maybe, as a Master Yi. Or maybe he's just not a Master Yi player, because that could be another thing. And I do believe that he does play a little bit of Master Yi, but not that much. I could be wrong on that. So we're going to be basing again. So this is only the second actual base that we're doing. I have rushed my mythic item. It does feel like as if they're not really moving around very quickly in bot lane. So the need for even tier 1 boots wasn't necessarily needed, because the Alistar is coming into me, not the other way around. So every single time you're landing a Q, that is when the Alistar is always able to yeah, so the Alistar is moving into me, I'll then Q into him or the Vayne. So really, I'm not really moving into them at all in any way. So it does kind of help, obviously, for that. It does make my job a little bit easier. So they started pushing into the tower a little bit. And I just help out the Twitch. Just get rid of all the minion waves, and that way we can reset the minion wave. It's obviously what they wanted to do as well. But all of a sudden then we see that the Vayne and the Alistar is not around. So it's possible that they may have backed. They might be helping out trying to secure the Scuttle Crab down the bot lane river, because that is available. Unfortunately, however, while this is all going on, the first turret has gone to the enemy team. So the whole entire enemy team goes to the enemy bot lane. To the enemy top laner, sorry. I end up doing a little silly thing. I was planning on putting a another ward down to see if anybody's going to be around there. We end up walking into a Kassadin, which is ideally I don't want to be doing. So I know the Kassadin is very near to the area. I end up flashing away just to make sure that I am completely safe. But of course, the Kassadin will become increasingly more dangerous as time progresses. So we're just going to be moving along the bot lane river. The Ahri is nearby, and she's just starting to attack the Kassadin. And she ends up managing to kill the Kassadin very shortly after that. And we very quickly then see the Master Yi starting to collapse down into bot lane. Which is very soon after. They're starting to go after the Twitch alongside with both members of the bot lane. Unfortunately, because we're not there, we're not able to really help the Twitch. But during the same time, myself and the Ahri do try and help out down in bot lane. I ultimately get myself killed, as does the Ahri, but she does manage to kill... she does almost manage to kill the Master Yi, but he is very low on health. The Echo is now going to start coming down. He ends up managing to kill the Alistar. At this point now, the Echo, all he needs to do really is get away. Which it looks like he could do. He's about to be attacked by a Drake. And now he's got to be careful. Because at this point now, he's been chased down by a Master Yi. And we don't know where the Vayne is. We know she's kind of like in the bot lane. You can see that she is down there now. So I need to get myself over to bot lane as quickly as possible. I have no idea why the Vayne didn't collapse onto the Echo. Because now, the problem is that what could have been very easily a 1v3 has now turned into a 3v3 almost. The Master Yi manages to just about get out of the of my queue, unfortunately. But thankfully, we do manage to get it shut down. The unfortunate thing is that I'm the one that gets the shutdown, which ideally we need to be giving it to either the Twitch or the Ahri at the moment, because them two are the two laners that are actually doing really well at the moment. We can see that the Gangplank, if you have a look at that the Gangplank is not doing very well at the moment. He's not made his mythic item, but he does rush a Spellweaver pretty much every single game. But now he should be starting to go into his mythic item. I'm not entirely 100% sure what one that is. I believe it might be a Kraken Slayer. I could be wrong. But we shall obviously see as and when he does build that. I'm just going to help out the Ahri, just clear out her minion wave there, so that way she's able to just go up a little bit quicker. Because we do need to start trying to amount a little bit of pressure in the lanes, and that way we have lane priority over the Drake, which is up, by the way. And it'll be pretty interesting to see how this battle for Drake goes. This will be the second Drake. Just remind you that we did get the very first Drake of the game earlier on. So obviously, ideally, the opposing team wants to be getting the second Drake over us. Of course, us getting two Drakes, the first two Drakes, obviously be very good for us. And that is another reason why it's very important for the opposing team to be getting it. Of course, we will be able to see as soon as they start up Drake again. Our fight is just about to start in bot lane. Myself and Twitch immediately recognise this. That both the Kassadin and the Garen are both attacking the Ahri. Because myself and Twitch then comes into the fight, all of a sudden, all the momentum from the enemy team has suddenly all just left. Just like that. The RCE is now going to start coming in. He sees that I'm... And now this is the little issue that we've suddenly started to find. Because the Gangplank is so far behind, of course, now at this point, he's very quickly going after the Gangplank. So in that way, he's able to just do so much damage across his ult. But because myself, the Twitch, and the Ahri are able to do collectively a good amount of damage all together, we're able to do quite a bit. I'll just try and keep our momentum going. Now we're just about to Drake. As you probably noticed, the echo isn't around. This is because I'll just move my actual cursor. But you can see he's down here. He's actually gone AFK. Which isn't obviously a good feeling, because it's like, you know, myself, the Ahri, and the Twitch are trying very, very hard to try and keep this game alive. Us three together as a team have done very well. We've helped each other out. Both of our lanes have both been won because we're supporting each other. Unfortunately, the Echo did fall a little bit behind with the Master Yi, and it might be a little bit of a jungle difference, but I think the main difference was the top lane, really, between the Garen obviously winning over the Gangplank. So obviously, what would have been a good amount of damage from the Gangplank, that damage is now pretty much all lost. So the Garen is able to tank even Gangplank's damage. Of course, that could be different where an R is concerned, and maybe Twitch with his poison damage. So we're kind of mainly relying on the Ahri and Twitch to do enough damage. Excuse me. But then the Yi is going to suddenly very quickly come onto us. Myself, the Ahri, and the Twitch all die, while the Gangplank is trying to split push in an area where, you know, it's a little bit questionable. It doesn't need to be done. But of course, you know, we don't know what is going through another player's head possibly. So, but yeah, ideally Gangplank needs to stay with the rest of the team. Really, if anybody is going to start split pushing at this point, really, I think it should possibly be the Twitch. If he's able to sustain enough, which obviously I don't feel he probably should. Maybe even the Ahri could possibly split push, because she is quite far ahead of the Kassadin for a start, and she has very strong engage, so she could possibly even take a 2v1 versus like, you know, the Vayne and the Alistar, possibly, if she plays it well enough. Because the Vayne is still very squishy, of course. Vayne is designed to take down tanks extra easily. Of course, that is Gangplank, so she'll take them down extra easily. The Garen, however, tried taking down our rock crabs on our side. And because of that, he got a bit greedy. He was overextended. And myself and the Twitch managed to get him in a way that, you know, yes, it'll probably be very annoying, but he didn't really, you know, respect that there is a Twitch around on the map, and there is a Morgana as well. A Twitch can suddenly do a great amount of damage out of nowhere, and alongside with a Morgana, which is a stun, you know, that's a very nasty combo to go together. Oh, I'm starting to figure out as I'm going through this game, you know. So, like, it's a little bit questionable to what the Garen was really doing, because he did have a bounty as well, and he's given the bounty to one of the two players that really he did not want to be giving it to. Now, our thinking now is, I believe, is we're gonna think about now starting to try and do Baron. Collectively, myself, the Ahri, and the Twitch can do a great amount of damage. Unfortunately, the Gangplank is a little bit behind. But you can see the Kassadin. Now, he'll show up on chat in a minute what was going on. He believed his teleport was actually Ignite, because that is something that some Kassadin players actually bring in to help them in the early game. Because the Kassadin believed that his Ignite was actually a teleport, he ended up using teleport right next to him instead of using Ignite on an Ari, which obviously he didn't have. And because of that, he ended up getting himself killed. Because as soon as you start a teleport, you can't do anything. You can't move. You can't auto-attack anybody either. So he kind of put him in a situation where, yeah, he's definitely getting killed. I didn't even need to use a Q, to be honest, but that does do a good amount of damage. So now I've just backed. I've now got my Zhonya's Hourglass, so that will help out with Burst. It will help out against even, say, for example, a Garen with an Execute. It will help out against a Vayne. It will help out against a Master Yi, and it will also help out against, yes, the Kassadin. During this time, we ended up getting outsmarted by the opposing team, who have just done Baron. It could have been that most of the time that the Master Yi was doing it on their own. They can do that, depending on how much healing they've got. I'm just about to be collapsed on by the Alistar, and I ended up just getting absolutely demolished, which was a very bad play for myself, I'll be honest. During all of this time, the Echo has now woken back up. He is no longer AFK, but he is trying to 1v1 an Ari. And bear in mind, most of us, like the Twitch is level 14, the Ari is level 15. I'm level 12 because I'm always with somebody. But the Echo is only level 10, so he is quite far behind the Master Yi. He is, unfortunately. So by him being this far behind because he went AFK for a while, it kind of puts the opposing team in a really rough spot, especially that if it's the jungler. If it was the top laner or a mid laner or the support, it wouldn't be quite as much of a problem. But because of it being the jungler, which obviously has smite, it puts our team as a whole in a very bad position. It does all of a sudden. The Kassadin comes in onto myself and the Ari. The Ari dies and then I die myself, obviously. The Kassadin then gets hit down by the turret, but obviously can't give it to a turret unless no person in the team has attacked him in a while. So it credits the kills to me again. So all of my kills really I didn't need to take, but it was kind of like either somebody was about to die in that fight, or I did way more damage than what I believed I could have done. But from this point on, unfortunately, the enemy team is going to win from that. The Gangplank does try to defend a little bit, but it's unfortunately it is beyond help at this point. The Echo has actually left the game, but that is because the game is pretty much over at this point. So unfortunately we do lose this game, but you know, I will be honest, you know, I felt I fared fairly well, especially in lane phase, especially with a bot lane Twitch, which the Twitch I have never ever played with before. So it's quite interesting to see that I actually did very well with a champion that I've never laned with before. You know, like I played against a couple of Twitches before, and they are very annoying. Yes, definitely. But it does feel like that that this game was actually pretty good for us, despite losing. It's definitely something that obviously I will take forward, because there will be more Twitch players, obviously, as we go up. But yeah, so we do unfortunately lose that one. And we do see that we actually do a reasonable amount of damage. We do more damage than the Echo, and we do more damage than the Gangplank. We actually even do more damage than the Vayne, which is quite interesting. And the Vayne normally is supposed to do quite well, obviously, into the later stages of the game. But I don't think we quite got there, because the Master Yi obviously took over the game at a certain point. The Kassadin started taking over the game as well. Because they both started to get further and further ahead, which is unfortunate. But a very good learning experience, I'd say. Like, some things to take forward on. But yeah, the next 3 placement games that I'm going to be doing, which will obviously end our placement games, will all be support. So we're currently 3 on 4. Ideally, what I want to be able to do is be 5 and 5 at least, if I can. Which, if that is the case, we would then be very close to getting into silver. if we can get 3 wins from this point on now, we could possibly be put into Silver 4 once we end our placement games. I'm not sure how it works going from bronze to silver or silver to gold, etc. So that is something I will have to find out. But just a little bit unfortunate. I did enjoy the game though, like I will be honest, and I hope you enjoyed the video. If you do like it, don't forget to leave a comment and also leave a like. It does help out the channel a lot. And also subscribe to the channel if you do want to see more videos like this. It's not just League of Legends videos that I do. If sim racing's your thing, then I do sim racing as well. And I do also do other games. I have uploaded previously a Pacify video, if that is your enjoyment, if you do like some jump scares and also some horror games. I do aim to try and make more videos of games like that in the future. But otherwise, I'm going to leave it there. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you guys next time.